have a child between the ages of 10 and 14 that is not interested in homeschooling, maybe they think that everything is really boring. All the stuff you're doing with them is just boring, and they would rather play video games, watch movies, play outside, play sports, anything but school. So how do you homeschool and give an education to a child that doesn't want to do anything that feels educational? And so let's just, for example, think about a 12-year-old boy who would rather be playing Minecraft than doing any schoolwork. But you know he's talented, you know he's intelligent, you know he's very creative, but you just haven't given him the tools that he needs to do homeschooling in such a way that he loves it. So here's an example. So let's just go Monday through Friday and talk about what a really interesting homeschooling week could look for using these materials from the thinking tree and a stack of random books from the library to give a great education to your 12-year-old son who is not interested in school. So let's start on Monday, okay? So on Monday, we're going to use these two books. It's the Do-It-Yourself Curriculum, Fun Schooling with Minecraft, 400 Lessons, and the Thinking Tree Masterclass 30-Day Student Portfolio. So what he's going to be doing is he's going to be doing about 10 pages from the Do-It-Yourself Curriculum, Fun Schooling with Minecraft, and he's going to do this totally on his own with a stack of about 8 library books that are focused on the things that he's interested in. Now, these are some of the things that my son is interested in. Weather, The Purple Cow, Shot by Shot, film directing, Whatever Happened to Justice, Most Likely to Succeed, filmmaking for teens, illustrated grammar, drawing amazing caricatures and cartoons, and amazing visual math. So when you're using this book, it really covers every subject. But the thing is this can get monotonous if it's all you do every day. But it does cover reading, handwriting, creative writing, spelling, vocabulary, classical literature, biographies, classical music, mathematics, science, history, world geography, social studies, current events. As you can see, it really covers just about everything. And so what I would do is I would have my son or my daughter do 10 pages per day in this, and that's about 3 to 4 hours worth of work when they do it well. And you really don't need much help from a parent or teacher when you're using this method. And then the master class. So what you would do is you would sign them up for a master class or have them choose tutorials on YouTube to use as part of their homeschooling, where they can study something that they are very interested in. Some things that teens tend to be interested in is like chess, business, design, photography, writing, learning how to make coffee, playing an instrument, art, architecture, food preparation, piano. There's so many things. Using drones, sports. There's so many things that are available online for your kids to learn and study, and this book makes it easy for you to make that part of their homeschooling. So if you use this book twice a week, it's gonna last 15 weeks, and your child will add some really wonderful learning to their education, and that's a lot more interesting than what's usually found in homeschooling materials. So let's say this is Monday. Tuesday could be a travel day. So let's say that Tuesday is travel day, and so what your child is doing is planning a trip to one of these 30 fascinating cities, and they're going to be studying everything they need to know to travel to a city, perhaps Hong Kong. They'll watch documentaries, they'll look at the place on Google Earth, they'll learn about the traditional clothing, and every week you choose a different city to study as if you were planning a vacation. Planning a vacation is a lot more fun than just studying in a typical geography book. And so you'd have a full day of geography where you're going to try food from that country, you're going to learn about costumes, watch documentaries, and it's really interesting. The whole family can get involved. Then on Wednesday, you would get back to your homeschooling curriculum journal, but then you would have a math day. So you'd have math and you'd have the curriculum journal. Now our Math Genius book is a lot more interesting than most math books, and it really teaches kids a lot about using math in the real world and using math to run a business. So on Wednesday, school would look like this. You do use a computer when you're using this book. Probably about 40 minutes of computer time is needed with the curriculum journal. Then on Thursday, you might have a science and history day. So your child would study either geology, physics, botany, zoology, chemistry, meteorology, or technology using this journal, along with some books from the library and some good websites. And then, so say in the morning, you had a morning full of science where they're doing science projects, watching science videos online, reading from library books about these different science topics. And then after lunch would be history time. And so the student would read a book from a certain period in history, maybe learn about the art from that time in history, learn about what was happening in the world, maybe in the city that they're studying during this time of history, and add something to the timeline of world history. And so, for example, one of my kids added about the Battle of Yorktown in this timeline. And so that would be Thursday, science in the morning, history in the afternoon. But history isn't just opening up a history textbook and reading something and taking a test. It's watching a movie from a certain period of history, learning about like the events, about wars, about what the weapons were like, what the technology was like, what transportation was like, and researching these things using the internet, using the library, using the resources that you have at home. And then Friday, we love to have Friday set aside to be like a travel day, a field trip day, a game day. We might play Monopoly together and spend some time in the curriculum journal. So maybe Friday, he would do 5 pages from the curriculum journal in the morning, and then he would do some math, and then in the afternoon, it's time for real projects and for going places. And so, so with this, you don't just use the curriculum journal by itself. You really do need a computer, and I'll just show you some things that my son's interested in. Okay? Weather. The Purple Cow. This is a marketing book. He's interested in film directing, so film directing shot by shot. This is Whatever Happened to Justice. This is excellent history and social studies. Most likely to succeed, preparing our kids for the innovation era. My kids actually like to read the books that I read, and so not only do I read books like this, but I give them to my kids to read. Filmmaking for Teens, another one. This is Grammar and Punctuation. This is a great book, by the way, not just for little kids, it's for anyone. It pretty much has everything. This is Drawing Amazing Caricatures and Comic Portraits, and the Visual Math. My older son really struggles with math, so visual math is really good. So this is just an example of what the homeschooling experience could look like for your 10, 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old student who is not interested in boring textbooks or boxed curriculum. So let's take one more look. We have Make Your Own Timeline of World History, the 7-subject science portfolio, Masterclass 30-Day Student Portfolio, the Travel Dreams Fun Schooling Journal, Are You a Math Genius? The Inventor's Book of Calculation Games for Brilliant Thinkers, and the Do-It-Yourself Curriculum Fun Schooling with Minecraft. Really quickly, if your child is not into Minecraft, I have another option for you. This is a Do-It-Yourself High School Homeschooling Handbook. It's a library-based curriculum journal and study guide for eclectic students. And though this was designed for high schoolers, your middle school kids can use it too. So this curriculum covers your talents and interests, history, science, English, reading and research, language, art, spelling, vocabulary and copywork, film study, art and drawing, nature study, economics, finances, and math. So this is for library and computer-based homeschooling. This is for boys or girls. And your student would do 5 to 10 pages per day. And this is a really thick book, as you can see. I'll show you the sizes of each of these books. In some of these books, like this one, this could last like 2 or 3 years, the timeline of world history, and the whole family can use it together. So this is a fun year of homeschooling, and it might just be a lot more interesting than what you're using already. So you can go to funschoolingbooks.com and find all these. And then you can go to your library and you and your child can pick out a stack of books that he or she is just going to love. Thanks so much. This is Sarah Janice Brown, and I'm just excited to tell you about a better way to keep homeschooling fun. Bye-bye.